The chill of the evening air swept through the small suburban neighborhood as Detective Fisher arrived at the crime scene, an ordinary house now marked by the horror inside. Mary Thompson lay lifeless, stabbed 35 times in what could only be described as a fit of unrelenting rage. As Fisher began to unravel the layers of this gruesome murder, it soon became clear that this was no random act of violence. Mary's husband, David Thompson, had passed away precisely a year before. His death was rumored, but never confirmed, to be suspicious. Upon his passing, Mary claimed all of David's possessions, a curious detail. Since the couple were never legally married, David was still wed to his previous wife Emily, with whom he shared 2 sons, Andrew and Chris. This twist meant they too had a stake in what David left behind. Yet Mary never informed them of his death until the day of his burial. Detective Fisher found that the will, which had vanished mysteriously around the time of the burial, was highly contentious. Mary had taken everything, but now she lay in a pool of blood. Emily and her sons were natural suspects, given their motives, but each held airtight alibis for the day of the murder. As the investigation deepened, Fisher's attention shifted to a man who had been intermittently living with Mary, George Hennings. George had no alibi and was evasive under questioning. The stories curled up in inconsistency as the weeks rolled on, evidence stacked against him, and his resolve began to crumble under the pressure of persistent interrogation. Finally, George unraveled the dark tapestry of his involvement. George confessed this to Fisher. With Mary's complicity, they had poisoned David, forging a scheme designed to thinly veil their crime until it fell apart. Retribution came unbidden when Mary sought to dissolve their twisted alliance. George grew desperate, fearing exposure. He discovered Mary's plot to hire a hitman to eliminate him, her duplicity layered in deception and danger. The hitman, a known associate of George's, revealed Mary's plan to him in a twist of fate that shook George to his core. Enraged and fearing the worst, George cornered Mary, leading to a deadly confrontation. In his claim of self-defense, he stated that the murder was in preemptive protection against Mary's intent to silence him permanently. Detective Fisher's investigation linked every piece of this sordid puzzle. Even the lawyer appointed by David, but later paid off and coerced by Mary and George, was located. The lawyer corroborated George's narrative under the eyes of the law. The gavel slammed down in justice's name, sealing George's fate as he was arrested for murder. With it, the truth of David's and Mary's tragic ends were laid bare for all to see.